welcome back to my channel. It's JusMeLah, and in today's video, I am reacting to Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 10. I'm going to go in the order that the show went, so let's get to it. Okay, we start out with Virginia and Eric. And Virginia and Eric, I just felt like Virginia was baiting Eric every time she asked him, "You don't care about me texting my guy friends? Is it okay for me to like my guy friends' pictures on Instagram?" I just felt like, why are you asking him that? Why do you need his permission to text your friends? If they are your friends, what is the big deal? I felt like she was baiting him. I didn't understand why she was asking him those questions. I wondered if they got into that off camera and the producers told them to bring that conversation back up on camera. But it was weird. I just didn't understand the point of the question, because then I felt like, so you would stop texting your friends because your husband told you to stop texting them? Like, that sounds like slavery. Like, not to be dramatic, but that kind of control just to me feels sufferable. Like, is it insufferable? I just don't know why you would want to be in a situation where your partner has to regulate everything that you do, or you give them the power to regulate what you can and cannot do. I feel like you should be able to text whoever you want to text as long as it's appropriate. And I would hope that in a marriage you are moving in an appropriate way. Yeah, and if somebody wants to move inappropriately, they're going to do it. Like, you can't control what the other person does. You just have to hope that everybody is being honest and upfront, and that's all there is to it. So after Virginia asked Eric if he cared about her liking her ex's pictures on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media platform, and his response was, you shouldn't be liking pictures of your ex and you shouldn't be friends with them on social media. And I was just like, it's social media. It's like, not like she's sending gifts in the mail to her exes. It's not that serious. People scroll and like images, posts all the time. Eric needs to relax. Liking your ex's picture on Instagram is no big deal, okay? Unless you're lusting after them when you like the picture, like, oh, he's so fine, he's so cute, she's so fine, she's so cute. I mean, and then even still, like, what you gonna do? It's just a like, you know? Period. And also, Eric did say that he isn't going to like her liking her ex's photo. And that's fine that you may not like it. But one, you wouldn't be aware of that information because you're not going to be over her shoulder scrolling her Instagram feed as she scrolls her feed. So don't even worry about it, because if she does it, you won't know about it. And there's nothing that you can do about it. It really is not enough, something to really like trip over, you know? Now, regarding can men and women be friends? Of course, men and women can be friends. Men and women are friends all the time. Then I recently heard another conversation around, can you be friends with somebody that you once were intimate with? I think you can be friends with somebody you were once intimate with. I think you can be friends with somebody you previously dated. And I think you can just be friends with someone of the opposite sex. Now, if you are in a relationship, my thoughts are, if you honestly have no attraction to the person whatsoever, at all, not an inkling, anything, then you can be friends with them. But if you're lying to yourself and you do secretly like them, or you feel a little something when you text them, there's a slight attraction, your friendship is not honest to me. It's not a true friendship. That's somebody that you like, that you would date, that you would take it to a next level with if you had the opportunity. If you weren't in your relationship, you will go ahead and pursue that. And so that is not a friendship, and you need to just cut it out. Be honest with yourself and chuck the deuces to your boo, or cut it off with them, or just be with somebody else completely. Like, okay. So then we went to Brie and Vincent, and Dr. Viviana came to pay a visit to Brianna and Vincent, and Dr. Viviana already knew what was happening. So we know that he got upset about the, oh, that's so Vincent of you, when he popped the champagne and it spilled all over. We know he also got extremely upset and shut down at the salsa lesson, okay? Vincent says that he can see Brianna like hesitating or checking in with him about things that she's done to make sure that she hasn't offended him, right? So she might say, am I doing something to upset you? Or maybe she wants to say something but doesn't say it. And he starts to say that he doesn't want her to have to check in all the time. And I thought he was heading in the right direction. Like, yes, that's not something that nobody should have to second guess themselves that often when they are just engaging naturally with their partner. So I thought he was headed in the right direction, but then he said he doesn't want her to do that because he's not delicate. I said, well, first of all, you are sensitive. So maybe delicate is not the word you want to use, but for us, that is sensitive. And I just feel like, no, you shouldn't want her to have to check in all the time like that, because that is just not freeing, okay? You just feel restricted. You don't feel like you can truly be yourself. But no, he said because he's not delicate. Vincent, you are sensitive and it is okay, okay? Then when he went on to explain that the reason he has these kinds of fits when he feels embarrassed or he doesn't feel like he is showing the best version of himself is because he's trying to impress her and he wants to look good for her. And then Bree smiles once he admits or reveals that that's the reason why that stuff happens. And I felt like, no, Bree, don't smile for that. That's not cool. Like, that is not a compliment. Somebody acting badly because they care about you or want to impress you is not good. That's like somebody saying, I don't want to lose you. That's why I'm so controlling of you. No, that's not okay. You don't want to lose me. That's fine. But you need to breathe and relax and let me do me. You want to look good in front of me. That's great. But you still need to breathe and relax and not throw a tantrum every time you feel like you've messed up. So to me, that's not sweet. That's not a compliment for somebody to misbehave because they don't want to lose me or they want to impress me. Get it together. So at the end of the day, like Dr. Viviana said, he has to let go of the idea of perfection. And like Brianna said, you don't have to be perfect for me. You just have to be who you are. And I like the quirky things. I like the silly things. It's all good. Don't worry about it. That's one. And the other thing is he also has to get better at expressing himself in the moment. That clarity that he has later on, the next day, a few hours later, he needs to be able to express that immediately or soon after, like in minutes. You know exactly how you feel. So just say that so that the other party at least knows what's going on. But altogether, I said they are so cute. I just love how they affirm each other and how they reconcile. But I just wish they didn't have to get to that place, that they are always reconciling over his tantrums. But I think they'll improve. It seems like Vincent is open and like he's a good person. Okay, next we go to Chris and Paige. And at this point, I just think Chris is hilarious now. We all know that this relationship is trash. Paige is still there. Okay. So for me at this point, them coming on my screen is just for comedy, okay? I just can't wait now for the foolishness that Chris is going to do because I know it's coming. And I'm just like, okay, ready with my pen. Like, ooh, what is he going to do now? So Chris walking into the house, I don't know. I thought he was mad funny. Him coming in the house, it immediately just made me laugh. And then I wondered, like, when they give their one-on-one interviews, where is the other person? So he was clearly in the apartment doing that one-on-one. Did they take her in the hallway? Is she in another room? Can they hear each other? I was just wondering that. Okay, so Dr. Viviana says to Chris, you are so different than the person that we met. I don't know who you are. I am confused. If those words don't wake Paige up, I don't know what will. Here you have the experts who matched you with this person saying that this person that they matched you with is different from the person that you are seeing right now. And so part of Paige's motivation to continue on in the relationship has been that she wanted to understand why the experts matched her and Chris. And I feel like Dr. Viviana saying that should show Paige that the person they match you up with is not the person that is showing up. And so you don't have to stick around to figure out why, because it's all a lie, okay? But that means nothing to Paige. She continues to be hopeful and continues to try really hard to be in this relationship with Chris. Yeah, I don't know. And then part of me trying to just give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, it only has been 3 weeks. Some of us, some of y'all, people, it takes them months to get out of a bad situation. It takes them years, a lifetime. So it's only been 3 weeks. So I'm trying to give her some grace that 3 weeks is really not that long. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, he don't even want to text you. He doesn't want to call you. He barely wants to hang out with you. Like, I don't understand why neither of them is pulling the trigger. It's like he's doing everything he can do. He's been doing this. Been saying and doing everything in the world for Paige to just be like, I'm out. But she doesn't leave. And I think she's waiting for him to explicitly say he's done, but he doesn't do that. I don't know. And I didn't understand Dr. Viviana's like ending statement, closing remarks. I wasn't sure if maybe they just cut that up and edited it in a way because it didn't make sense really. But the question is, why are you still entertaining this man, Paige? So then we get to Clara and Ryan, and they're speaking about sex again. And I'm like, okay, so maybe he's just not comfortable talking about sex on camera, which I think is valid. I think that's totally fine. But then is he not having these conversations with her off camera either? And it seems he's not, because if he was, she would have the answers to her questions. And then when Clara revealed that she was in a relationship for 3 years where they had sex maybe 3 times, but sex is so important to her, I'm very confused. Yeah, I just am confused. And we learn more about Clara's past the further we get into the episode. But that was just weird to me. So then we get back to Paige and Chris. They're back at the house trying to figure out what their schedule will be in the future in terms of spending time with one another. And I still don't understand why Paige is doing this. And then I'm like, well, she made a commitment. And so she is trying to see this through. She took her vows seriously. She made them before God. And she just feels like life is not always going to be easy, and you can't just give up the moment it becomes a challenge. And so she is steadfast in her pursuit or her commitment to making this marriage work, which I think is kind of commendable. But then at the same time, it's like you're being mad naive. Like, it's not like you're working towards, it's not like you're putting in the work with somebody who also wants to do the work. It'd be different if you and Chris were just going through a hard time, but y'all both wanted this marriage and you both really, really wanted each other. But that's not what's going on. You all are going through a hard time and he doesn't even want to be there. He doesn't want you. And while his actions and his words sometimes don't line up, a lot of the times they do line up. And she still is sticking through. I don't know. Anyway, Jacob and Haley. When Haley said that she had sex with Jacob because she felt like it was her job, her duty to do it because she's married, I was just like, dang. I was like, wow. And then also I felt for Haley because she continues to say that she doesn't want to hurt Jacob's feelings, but she is not feeling him like at all. And he continues to do the things that she asks him to do. He's making concessions, he's compromising, but she still is not into him. And I feel for her. Like, I do not like this man at all, but I don't want to say that to him every second of the day. And I'm trying to get there, but it's just not happening. Dr. Viviana was also visiting Jacob and Haley during this time. And Haley revealed that when she saw Jacob, she felt neutral about him. She wasn't super attracted to him, but she wasn't unattracted to him. But that over time, his actions made her less attracted to him. And I thought it was worth noting that she said she's doing a lot of the work. And so he's not putting in a lot of effort. And that brings us to last week when he said he's not an actions person. And so because he's not doing much action-wise, I don't know what you're doing then. If you're not putting in work, what are you doing? But he's not putting in the work, and so I'm sure that is draining, that you're the one constantly putting the effort in. But then she also says that he's doing the things that she wants him to do. I don't know. They sleep in separate rooms. I had no idea that they were doing that. Like, y'all really aren't trying to connect if you sleep in separate rooms every night. But anyway, Virginia and Eric, they seem to be on the same page regarding how they deal with conflict. Like, they understand that we avoid things because we don't want to be in a fight. We don't want to be in an argument. So I thought that was good that they at least are seeing the same thing happening. I just don't like the way Eric speaks to Virginia. He's very, I don't have the right word to describe him, but it's just nasty. Like, he's just very matter of fact. Again, I feel like it's his way or the highway. That's the kind of energy he gives. And when they spoke about them having different views and they're like extremely opposite and they're both very committed or very passionate about their views, and they don't see either of them budging or moving or coming closer to the center about any of their views. Eric was saying that he's fine with that. He's like, you have your views, I have my views, and that's cool. Like, we don't have to argue about it. We don't have to fight about it. But for Virginia, it seemed that she wants him to see it her way, or she wants him to come on over to her side a little bit, and that's why she's having more trouble with it. But I think Eric is just like Virginia as well. When he's like, oh, that's her problem, he said something like that. I just think he's rude. Then when he went into, if she doesn't want children, then I'm done, I was like, I don't understand how you talk to somebody like that and expect them. I just think it's rude to speak to somebody like that. Like, did you not try to understand why she felt that way? Like, are you so consumed by what you want that you don't have the, like, awareness to inquire further? Like, why is that? Like, have you always felt that way? You know, just to dig deeper and try to, like, ask some questions to get a better understanding. But you just like, if she doesn't want them, I'm done. Like, sir, you're gonna be by yourself. Bree and Vincent, I wondered if he set up that date night decor by himself. I was like, did you do that, Vincent? Or did the producers help you with it? It looked really nice. I thought they were boring, but I thought that was good. There's no drama. Good for them. They're cute. Like, literally have nothing to say. Except I thought it was hilarious when Bree went to kiss him with the whipped cream in her mouth, and he was like, not like that. She looked mad crazy. I was like, he wanted this to be a little sexy sensual, and you coming through looking like, he was not feeling that. So Clara and Ryan are meeting with Dr. Viviana, and they're talking about sex again and why it's not happening. And Ryan is mad controlling, and he's saying it's important for him that they build a foundation first. So y'all are married. You really like each other. You get along well. You're physically attracted to one another. You all are already doing sexual acts. And when it feels natural for you to move on, you stop yourself because you're controlling. And you want to make sure that you have build a good foundation first. And then she's asking him, like, well, when will you know we've built a good foundation? How close are we to building a good foundation? And he's like, well, I don't want to put a date or a time on it. I don't want it to be unnatural. But you are already moving unnaturally because you have desires, it seems, to be more intimate with her, but you stop yourself. You're already married. So what is it? Do you feel like if you will never get there in terms of that friendship or that solid foundation, that it's over, the marriage is done? I mean, I guess that makes sense. But anyway, they see it opposite. He needs butterflies in order to have sex, and she needs sex in order to feel butterflies. Dr. Viviana asked her, do you think he has been dishonest about whether or not he's had sex? I was like, yes, Viviana, ask those questions. And she said no. She said he's told her that he's had sex before, and he's honest and forthcoming about everything. So she doesn't feel like that would be something that he would just randomly be untruthful about. But then we learned that Clara said that she's never had a meaningful sexual experience. Like, there's never been emotion tied to sex. And so she doesn't even believe that she'll ever, like, feel like sex is anything more than a physical act. Like, it's not a connector. But she did also say that she needed sex to feel butterflies. So I'm a little confused. But then I was also concerned and like, whoa, what? Like, almost felt sorry for her that that's her reality presently, that she just had sex with people and they don't have an emotional connection to her. She doesn't have one to them. It sounds like, is she just being used by people? It's kind of sad. Haley and Jacob, she's picking him apart. She don't like him. Eric and Virginia, So they're sitting on the bed and they're discussing just more about their past and how it's informed who they are and why they feel the way they do about certain things. So Eric speaks first and Virginia seems to be listening intensely to what he has to say. She's very attentive. And then Virginia begins to talk and Eric looks so disinterested. He's doing everything else in the world. He gives her eye contact, but he just seems like he's really not listening to her, but just pretending to. But at the end of her revealing that the reason she is hesitant about having children is because her parents' marriage and divorce was such a mess, and her father used her as a pawn and would often put her in the middle of him and her mother's issues. She's just fearful about bringing a child into the world and them having a similar experience. She doesn't want to repeat that cycle, and so she's very hesitant. And I thought that was great. I was like, okay, cool. Now Eric has a better understanding of her, and it's not that she's against children, she just has a fear around repeating what she saw demonstrated for her and what she experienced. So instead of Eric being like, wow, thank you so much for sharing that with me, I totally understand you now and why you aren't 100% sure about having children, and I just want you to know that I'm fully committed to you, all of that. He says, well, I didn't know that because you never told me. So again, he's mad. Like, I don't know if the word is condescending, but he just talks down to her. He's blaming her like she just opened up to you and that's your response. You didn't say what I said earlier, like, oh wow, thank you for sharing that. You said, oh wow, well, I didn't know that because you didn't tell me. He's very annoying. Like, I just can't take it. Okay, Paige and Chris, woo! I'm excited now. I'm like, yes, I know something's about to happen. What is it? Okay, so Paige looks real cute in her red dress. I'm like, when Paige is happy, she looks so pretty. But child, she looks good, okay? And I was just sitting there waiting. So Chris came with the fried chicken. I was like, that's dinner? Like, takeout, obviously it's fine. Fast food, okay. But this is supposed to be our date night and you came up in here with that, like, so I gotta be like on camera. But okay, fine. So then she's like, so where's the Bible verse you prepared? He's like, oh, it's been real busy. I was hoping I could hear yours. And she's like, well, I was just looking forward to hearing yours. I'm like, yes, Paige, like, let him know that, hello, you should have been doing some of the planning, some of the work. So of course she leads because he can't lead anything because he's not a leader. They just go through the Bible verse, whatever. So then we get to the good part. Because I'm watching this like, okay, this is seeming kind of like, I'm waiting for the ball to drop or the other shoe to drop, whatever, the bomb to drop. So he talks about how his ex-fiance, the mother of his child, was in an accident a couple of years ago and she hasn't driven since then. I don't remember if he said she was traumatized or what the situation was, but she just hasn't driven since then. And so he said, I bought her a brand new Benz because, I want her to get comfortable driving when our child comes. And Paige is like, I totally understand you not wanting your child to be on the bus, the subway, the train. And so I definitely understand. But she's like, but a brand new Benz? Like, you asked about a brand new Benz? It's just funny. And her reaction when she's in a one-on-one interview is priceless. But that's the thing. It's like Paige will have moments like that where she knows he's full of shit, but then she continues to press forward with him. And so I just feel like she's aware that he's a piece of shit. She's aware that he's dishonest, but she still, because she took vows, is sticking through it. And I think that's the even sadder part, is that this really meant something to her. Like, she really came in here taking this seriously, and Chris is not. And so she is just being ran over and ran through left and right because she's committed. She's serious. Like, this is a serious commitment for her. But Chris is just playing around, talking about he knew he had to tell her because she's the mother of his child, so she should know. But why didn't you discuss it with her first? Why are you telling her after you did it? Why didn't you tell her before? And he's funny. Oh, something else I want to say. So we know Paige and Chris. We know he's been manipulating her. This is what Chris was doing. This is what manipulators do. And this is how caring and empathetic women get caught up like this.
Look, baby, I got demons in me that I've been fighting for a long time. I was trying to fix holes in my heart. I was thinking with the wrong mind. I'm still dealing with some trauma from back when I was young and I lost God. I kept it dark to protect your heart, but in the process I lost mine. Swear I never meant to hurt you, baby. I realized it wasn't worth it, baby. Should've recognized what I had. I don't know why I was searching, baby. I know you probably think I'm lying, but if you forgive me, I can make it perfect, baby. Cause if you leave, I don't wanna be alive. You became my only purpose, baby. That shit working, ain't it? Victim mode. All you gotta do is switch the roles. Make them feel all the pain from when you was 10 years old. Make them feel like you always knew you had them, but you still feel alone. Make them feel like you so damaged, but you know what you did was wrong. Make them feel like God gave you a different soul. Make them feel like you different now. The strongest trait of manipulation is giving hope.
So don't be like that, y'all, okay? Don't let that sob story get to you. He did what he did because he have problems. We'll go to therapy, and I'll see you later or never. So ladies, okay? Don't let those crocodile tears fool you. I was this, I didn't that, I had mommy problems, daddy problems, problem. That's not my problem. Therapy, I am out of here, okay? We all been caught up like that. The Haley and Jacob, they're in bed. He's like, so am I getting a kiss tonight? She's like, He's like, no spooning, no sensual caressing. I was like, he's funny, he's making jokes. She don't like him. Virginia and Eric, they have a little sensual date thing, and I just felt like it was cool. She looked really nice. Her little robe was very pretty. But when they started kissing right before he told the cameras they had to leave, I was like, he looks so old next to her. Like, so what is this older man, younger woman dynamic that we are seeing? It just looked really creepy. Like, she looked like a child and he looked like an older man, and it just looked very disgusting to me. But I really didn't have any, I didn't have many strong reactions to this week's episode. I think because Dr. Viviana was there and she was saying a lot of the things that maybe I would have said, but it was entertaining. I'm here for Paige and Chris now. I was over them last week, but I'm not taking them serious anymore at all. It's all for the entertainment. So I look forward to the shenanigans that they will continue to bring to the show. And that's that one, okay? Thank you so much for watching. It's JusMeLah. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. Peace.